this is a sound-powered telephone. I got this headset from the Dianza flea market a while back for I think $10, which wasn't that bad since it's become pretty cool. Or not become, it's turned out to be pretty cool. So, basically what it is a phone that instead of having to have power run into it, it runs off your voice. So it converts the sound waves into electricity. So if I hook this up to a multimeter and yell into it, or actually even just talk into it, you can see that it generates an AC waveform, or not waveform, it generates a voltage differential. And you can feed that into another headset like this, and you can talk to someone without using any external power. That's why it's used for like emergency systems, evidently. I didn't even know about this until I found this. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know what model this one is, or like when it's from. I'll probably take it apart though in this video, so we can like maybe there'll be some part in here that's like dated or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. And there's tape on the headset. Now, some models of sound-powered headphones have like a switch or a nameplate underneath there, but I think the tape is nice enough to where if I took it off, it'd ruin it. So I kind of want to keep that on there. Plus, I don't think there's much on there. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I like the sound of it. It has kind of a neat sound to it. You know what I mean? But oh well. I'm just recording this on my Zoom H1 audio recorder. Just have it going to the line in. So in this instance, I'm actually running it as a normal microphone. I'm feeding power into it, but it can handle it. It's strong. Now I'm just kind of curious, did this go to a ship, or did it go to a military application, or was it from something else? Because usually this is an emergency phone line in case like, oh, all the power went out in the building, or oh, all the power went out in a boat, and so now we have to like still have to talk across the boat. This will work because it doesn't take external power.
Let's see if I was right about detecting voltage when I talk into it. So it's at 0.000 volts now. Talking into it. Yeah, that works. Yep. 0.2 of a volt. AC at least. Now, of course, it's probably AC current, so it won't pick up anything on DC. Nope. So yeah, it's AC. Oh wow. Started getting a reverb in this thing. Because of course, it's only one circuit in here, or 2 pins. So that means that the speaker goes through with this. So if I induce a current from here, I also hear that in there. So the first thing I noticed when I started looking at this is that it's really dirty. I don't know if that's mud or what. Looks like a form of mud. There's some dirt they got on there. I'm not really sure. Something's coming off. Weird. Maybe that's not dirt. It's on there good, that's for sure. Oh. Shit. Oh my god. USN. That might stand for US Navy. Not really sure. But it makes sense, because this is mostly found on boats, so... That's convincing. Although I'm not familiar with the markings on stuff like that. Ooh. Is that... Oh, no, it's on this other side too. That's just where they injected it or whatever. Some part of the mold. Oh no, it's one of those things where the probably pushes out of the mold. I'm not really sure. I think this one would open then. Oh, this one's easy. Wow, these aren't even on there much at all. More junk coming out. Oh, interesting. So evidently with this one, these 2 rings are on the same thread, so they tighten against each other to keep that on there. That's kind of... Oh, that's metal. Yeah, so that's metal, of course. Weird. Oh, maybe that's the seam there. Maybe that comes out. Oh. Oh, I was right. Oh my god. Well... Oh. I guess that's a replaceable unit then. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are these both the same exact modules? So they can act as speaker and microphone? That is really cool. Although it looks like that's smaller than that one. Not really sure. Very similar. Very similar. Indeed. Yeah, it looks the same. That is... Whoa. 81... Or let's say 82 ohms. This one is... 83 ohms. So yeah, these are pretty much the same exact piece. That's pretty cool. So no wonder my whenever I yelled in to get the voltage to spike, I could hear it in the earpiece, because it is just the same piece. That's cool. So I could maybe just do it with one of these. You know, if these act as a microphone and a speaker, like, could I just have a communication across the line with one of these, because they'd be the microphone and the speaker? I don't know, it's weird. Oh yeah, I can feel it loosening up. Whoa. Oh my god. That is amazing. Western Electric D9649 8. Cunt number 39875. Interesting. I'll look that up. Western Electric again. Wow. So I couldn't find much on the internet, except for I did find some pictures of a Western Electric D1 telephone from the early 1930s that had a handset that looked very, very similar to this. Not exactly the same, but very similar. Now, that doesn't explain why USN is on here, but I think it can help. I think that this is probably a design that was also carried over to, like, a ship or something like that. I'm not sure, though. It could just be that this is how phones looked back then. But it was definitely made by Western Electric, that's for sure. We have this needle thing in here. It's amazing. So we have the two wires coming in here, and it looks like they go in here, across here. So that's interesting. Oh, this one's insulated. Okay. So that's probably just an anchoring point for them. This wire then goes in here, goes in there. So then that's that coil. And not sure what moves in this. It's so fascinating. Well, since I have this open, I'm just going to go ahead and clean off these remnants of the gasket so it doesn't mess anything up or whatever. Finally got it. Those were pretty tricky. Well, let's check this one just to see if it's the same. Gasket's falling apart just like the other one. Western Electric. Oh. 135. So that might be a day code, like January 1935. That makes sense, since this seems to look like phones from the mid 1930s or earlier. Oh, this gasket's actually doing better. Oops. Better, but not good. It is sticky, so that's interesting. Probably shouldn't be sticky. It should probably be gaskety. Shouldn't be crumbling off that much. Although I could be wrong. This might be like a glue. I could see them using a glue. That'd be interesting. Feels like Bakelite underneath it. Which is not much of a surprise. I figured this mostly be Bakelite just by how it looks. And now that I have a good estimate of its age from 1935, at least if I'm reading that correctly, then Bakelite would be pretty common. Oh, oh, it's rubbery. Finally, a piece that hasn't fully degraded. Yeah, so looks like this was like some kind of gasket that wasn't like an epoxy or anything. It was just kind of set on there. Or maybe like an O-ring actually. Man, this stuff gets everywhere. So yeah, 135. Look back on the other footage to see if it had a date code on the other one. But that's pretty nice. This one seems a lot cleaner. As I was screwing that together, I noticed more writing. This is amazing. USN D96505. Oh, finally we're getting some dirt off. It's not all caked on there too much. You know what? Screw this. I'm just going to throw it in the kitchen sink and use a scouring pad to clean it off. So I washed them, and it did not clean them. I'm starting to think maybe there's some glazing on these or some paint that was wearing off because, so, the metal one, black was starting to come off, so, I mean, it's a lot cleaner now. There isn't any more, like, junk on it, so that's good. But I didn't want to take off all the black. But then on these, I noticed that it actually looks weird now. You can see like a fiberglass pattern in some of them. Like that. I don't think that was on there before. But I don't know. That could just be me not remembering correctly. But then more spots open up. And then on this one, I mean, I don't remember it being like this. That's for sure. But look at that. All this stuff. Because I always had to scrub the outside hard because there was white stuff on it. So it might be that the outer layer of the Bakelite or fiberglass maybe was coming undone and I scrubbed that off. Then on the inside, oh yeah, there's more in here. That's so weird. I'm actually kind of happy I did this though. I don't feel like I ruined it. I feel like it's like I cleaned up a fossil. You can see all the layers and stuff like that. It's just cool. So I think it would be just better just for me to go ahead and wash off anything that will come off. That way I don't get my hands dirty. Then everything else I can just leave on there because I don't need to scrub away everything, you know. Especially now that I find out that it might actually just be that I'm scrubbing away the old material itself. Maybe something funky happened to it. Who knows? Kind of curious what kind of tape this is. It's like gaffer's tape or something like that, but it's become rock hard. Oh, it looks like these have gaskets on them too, maybe. But these gaskets are, they're good enough. I'll just leave them. Oh, it looks like these two rings are here so that you can put this down to wherever it's going to be so it's like in the right like orientation, and then you can tighten it up. That's pretty cool. Well, I think that's pretty much it. It turned out to be a lot older than I expected, if that is an actual date code saying like January 1935. If it is, that's actually pretty cool. This is really neat. Unfortunately, that probably means that it'll be harder to find another one of these, at least another identical one. But I'm going to keep an eye out for another sound-powered telephone. And maybe when I get back home to Illinois, I can set this up to be a telephone system in my house, like talking from upper floor to the basement. That'd be kind of cool. Well, this is actually pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya!